like we literally like threw them. We were like, what is this? She
What
was
is
like, enjoy, and walks away.
like we were always up to no good. Like we were just kids, you know? And there was times where like we were really loud. Like I remember this one time that we were all playing like hide and go seek or something like that inside of the house. We heard a door close and we booked it. Like we ran outside. Hey Tithers, welcome to this episode of Hither and Tither Mother's Day special. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm Em.
And I'm Yo.
And today we're going to be talking about Mother's Day.
So hit pause right now and do me a favor. Go grab your mom and bring her here with you. And you guys will enjoy this episode together.
You cannot continue this episode without your mom.
No, absolutely not. Why are you still here? Pause. Go grab her.
Welcome back.
Hi, moms. We're happy to have you, and hopefully you enjoy this episode today on Mother's Day.
So, I guess now that your mom is here, you might not want to have this conversation. But, hey, yo, have you gotten your mom a Mother's Day present?
Yes, actually, it got there on Thursday, and I got.
You already got it.
Well, because today is Mexican Mother's Day, the day that we are recording. But so it got there on Thursday, and it was a book. And it's kind of like this viral book that I kind of saw everywhere, and I thought it was the perfect Mother's Day gift. But it's just a book where she can write her story, and it's called like, Mom, I want to hear your story. It's in Spanish. I sent her the Spanish one, and she was literally bawling. But I don't know, like I feel like I almost gave her more work. Like it's almost like a present for me in the future.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving to me.
Absolutely.
But she really liked it. She just looked at it and she goes, bueno, pues a ver tu historia, a saber mi historia. And I was like, okay.
That is really nice. I really like that. My present to my mom is this episode.
So far, this is your mom's episode.
Yeah, no, typically I like to send her flowers, and I just like to send her food as well because she likes to.
Yeah, in the past I have given my mom, or I have sent her like an edible arrangement.
Yeah.
I've done that, and she's really enjoyed that. And I've sent one to my sister-in-law as well.
Yeah, I think, I don't know why, but flowers is always like the type of gift that I really like to give. The gift that I really like to give. But I know you said, and you mentioned this earlier, today is Mexican Mother's Day.
May 10th.
May 10th, yeah. So do you typically celebrate Mexican Mother's Day, or like growing up, did you guys celebrate American, I guess, Mother's Day?
I guess for us, it's easier to celebrate it this year specifically because May 10th is today, and then tomorrow is Sunday, and it's Mother's Day in America. But usually we just celebrate them both. Sometimes it's a like 4-day difference or something like that, but it's not a big deal. We celebrate them both. Usually my dad will cook a carne asada on Sunday, and then if May 10th landed during the week, we'll take her out, or he'll take her out to like some nice fancy dinner. And I only have one brother that lives there, so like they'll hang out with them, but me and my other brother will just kind of ship things to them. And I just give her one present for Mother's Day, but they'll get a text today, and then they'll get another text tomorrow.
One in Spanish and then one in English.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think for us, typically we celebrate, on the Sunday. And every May 10th, I have to be like, we're not celebrating today. So just wait till Sunday. And then she's always like, I'm Mexican. I'm like, okay, but we live in the United States. So like, come on. I don't have money for both days. Mami, te quiero mucho. Este episodio es para ti.
Have you ever seen the Familia Peluche episode where the kid goes, a la madre, And then he starts saying like empieza a decir como una poesía, a la madre. And then everyone's like, dude, it's so funny. It is so funny. And then funny. Funny. It's so funny. And then there's another one because it's like a Mother's Day episode. And then there's some other kid that gets up and he goes, Mamá, mamá, mamá. ¿Quién es la mejor
Mamá,
mujer? Mamá, mamá, mamá. And
yeah, I remember
it's
that.
so funny. It's so funny. But
I love La Familia Peluche.
it's so
Such a
funny. Typical
show.
Latin comedy. Top tier comedy right there.
Okay, so on that note, what is like the funniest thing that you can remember about your mom?
Oh my gosh. My mom, she's a very serious lady when she wants to, or I guess she can pretend to be very serious and very eloquent and very like, you know, but she's actually so funny, dude. Like
She
sometimes she
is.
has like the one-liners that just kill you, just bent over laughing, killing. Um, I want to say that this is the funniest thing that she does. Like, I can't necessarily think of a moment, but this is the funniest thing to me that she does is like when I became of age of like dating,
Mhm.
anytime I would like a guy or I would have a crush on a guy, she'd be like, so who is it? Like, send me a picture, like this and that. Or like, is he buenillo? Is he cute? Is he
Mhm.
hot? Like, what do we think about him? If I had to take a guess who I got my boy craziness from is definitely my mom. Like, my mom is so boy crazy. It is so funny. And like, I take after her, I guess. She's
Mhm. Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I love that aspect of your mom. You know, when we were growing up, she was always like, pues ándale, mijitas, ándale, ándale. And I just want to take a second to say thank you to your mom because even though I was really thankful for her back then, now that I'm an adult, um, it's just crazy to think that she really just accepted me into the family, especially because we kind of put her into this situation without really even asking. I know one day you were just like, hey, she's
By
gonna
the
stay
way,
with us.
yeah, and we're
Yeah.
staying
And
tonight
yeah,
and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and
thank
the next day.
you.
And can you stay here forever? Yeah.
Yeah, and now as an adult, I can understand that that wasn't easy. So I do want to say muchas gracias y le aprecio mucho because it's not easy to take another person into your home, but she did that. And so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I do kind of want to share a funny story about your mom. And it's just something that I think it's funny to us because, again, we were just such kids thinking back on this. But when we were living together, it was like having a sleepover with your best friend. And so it was a sleepover every single day.
Never
It really
ending.
was.
Never ending.
Never ending. We had so much fun. And something that it was just a really bad habit. Okay, we picked up this really bad habit, and we would be like, Chipitos?
Dude, every day.
And every day
Every
we would look at each
day.
other and be like, Chipitos. And then, your mom, she cared for us,
She
she
saw
was
that.
like,
She
she
saw.
started to figure out, like, these kids are eating chips every single day, sometimes even
Okay.
more than once.
Let's acknowledge that they were family sized bags that we were having a
Hot
flamin' hot
Cheetos.
puffs
Mhm.
every day. And
Every single time.
my mom would just find us walking through the door and she,
I can't imagine like what she was thinking, like again. And so the funniest thing is that I remember one day she had already asked us like no more chips. And everybody was like having a carne asada. And then I think she asked us to go pick up something from the store. And we're like, okay. So we went to go grab it. And while we're there, we bought some chipitos. But we knew that we shouldn't have been eating them. So we got them and we put them on the back of your dad's truck. I think that's what we did.
we were trying to
And then
hide them from her.
we're trying to hide them. And we thought like we were slick. Why does she walk in later on that night? Like, what is this?
And we were like, my dinner.
Oh, that's not ours. How
That
did
I
that get
know.
here?
Oh, interesting. The same chips you guys have every single day. They're not yours. Uh, it's
That
for
was the
everyone
funniest
that's
thing.
coming over.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And then one day she ended up being like, "Here, like I'm gonna get you some of these chips," and we were like, "Oh, like nice
Dang,
chips."
yeah, thanks, mom.
Thanks, she pulling through. And they were kale chips, but they had tajin. So we were like, oh yeah, this is great. And
Easy.
we opened the bag and we're like,
Like we literally like threw them. We were like, "What is this?" She
what
was
is
like,
that?
"Enjoy," and walks away.
It's like I just that is core memory for me,
Oh my
something that I will
gosh,
never forget.
that's
So
actually so funny.
yeah, it's hilarious. Good memories, good
My
memories.
mom, she was so patient with us. She's so
Yeah.
patient. That's so funny.
Well, we'll be happy to know that we don't need chipitos all that much
Yeah.
anymore. At least those chipitos.
Yeah, at least not those. And not every
I know.
day.
I eat other types of chubby, the baked ones, the baked
Yeah,
ones.
exactly. The 50% less fat one.
Exactly, exactly.
That's so funny, dude. Okay, so do you have a funny story about your mom?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I have so many funny stories with my mom. Like I know I can see it in my head that we've had so many times where we're just like cracking up. But I think it's most of the time it's because I thought I was gonna get in trouble. Like it's something that I was just doing that she was like, no me voy a enojar, like it's fine. And I was always like especially because, like me and my siblings, we were always up to no good. Like we were just kids. And there was times where like we were really loud. Like I remember this one time that um we were all playing like hide and go seek or something like that inside of the house. And then she was like doing I can't even remember what she was doing, but we heard a door close and we booked it. Like we ran outside because we were just afraid that we were gonna get in trouble. And she's just
Why did
like
they
y'all be
run?
playing, that was fine. But we all ended up cracking up. um oh, something that I always remember about my mom though is that she would always, when every time that she fell asleep, she would always cover her feet. And she would always say, like, "Ay, tengo mucho calor." And I'd be like, okay, well, like,
Untuck your
uncover
feet.
yourself, right? Uncover yourself. And then she'd be like, no, no. And then one time I asked her why, right? Like, why can't you just uncover your feet? And she said that when she was little, her mom, like, I guess as a punishment or like a consequence, she'd be like, oh, you're misbehaving? Okay, well, at night, somebody's gonna come and grab your feet.
Just-
So every night, it's I'm talking about my mom, like, as
my
an
God, is that
adult,
full grown? Yeah.
like, a full grown adult. Like, she still cannot uncover her feet because she feels like somebody's gonna grab her feet.
That's
I,
crazy, dude. That's so
it's
funny.
just, yeah, I don't know. I think that's really funny.
Dude, that's so funny. Like the things that your moms say can really go up into your adulthood and affect you. Like I remember one time, or I guess when we were small, if we had like tonsillitis or something like that, uh, my mom would say, I guess in English, this is what it would translate to. She'd be like, "Oh, you have tonsils," and we'd be like, "Oh, yeah, right, whatever." But she would just say, "Tienes anginas," like, "Oh, tienes anginas." So we would be like,
Hmm.
"Yeah, yeah." I
But we
grew
all
up. I grew up, and I started working for this daycare, and I thought
have.
one of the little girls was sick, and so I told the mom, like, I don't think she's feeling really good. Like, maybe you should check if she has tonsils. She looked at me like tonsillitis. It's like, uh,
That's what I meant to say exactly, but I just
yeah,
shortened it
yeah,
because
exactly. I was like, yeah, yeah. And then I went home and I felt so dumb. I was like, I feel so stupid. And then I told my mom, I was like, ¿por qué dijiste que eran anginas? And she was like, pues tú nunca lo... Like, why would you, like, girl, you are a full girl. You're 20 years old. Like, how have
Oh
you
my
not
God.
looked this up already? It's so funny.
I
It
mean,
was
that's
so
just
funny.
like what you have with your parents, right? Like you just trust that what they're telling you is the correct thing. But there are so many things that, like, I remember when I was little, my mom would always be like, "Ay, me caí," and she put
El
on beats,
burro.
right? And it's like, "El vaporru, el vaporru." And like now that I'm an adult, I'm like, what does that? I remember even my younger brother, he had like really chapped lips, and then my mom was like, and then the next day his lips were like even bigger because like of all the like the menthol. Yes,
Yeah.
like huge. I'm like, yeah, that's not a thing. That don't work.
Dude, no, I remember my mom used to use this one medicine for everything. If something was, um, if something was hurting, if there was this, and my dad would always joke, like, "Ay, se va a poner a trapear con," and like we all just started busting up, like, échale al agua. Dude, it
That's the
was
fix
so
quick
funny. We would
fix.
always joke about her because she literally would use it for everything, anything and everything. She'd be like, "Here's some." I was like,
It's just so crazy, the things that we get from our parents and they kind of like carry on, right? I mean, you and I, we don't have children, but if we did, pues,
"Yeah,
like
dude,
that's the
Pentex every day."
whole day, right? And this like it's the first day of school, but
Literally,
because of
for
all
the
the
nerves,
bacteria
for the
for
nerves. Yeah.
the nerves.
Yeah.
Teethers, if you have any stories or anything that your mom would say to you when you were little that now you still live by, or things that you have debunked at this point and you're like, yeah, that's not true, share it with us in the comments.
I'm really excited to read those comments because those are probably some of my favorite stories is like things that people grew up thinking and then as an adult you're like, what was that, dude? Like, mom, why did you say that? Those are
Now that
my
I'm an
favorite.
adult, I always argue with my mom because she'll be like, ponte calcetines o te vas a enfermar. And I'm like, Mom, you don't get sick from being cold. You get sick from viruses. And she's like, pues yo no creo en la ciencia. Yo creo en la verdad.
Yo
I'm
creo
like,
en Dios.
science versus truth makes sense, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude,
So,
that's so funny. That's
and
so freaking
I
funny.
always argue with her like for funsies, it's never like something hateful, but I just think it's one of those things that she will never get over. Also, like, don't go outside with your wet hair because your face will like.
Although that did happen to one of our friends. Like, I
Yeah, but
remember.
was it because of the cold?
Yes, it was in the cold. I think he said that he had just gotten out of the shower, and we were like, "Dude, why are you looking like that?" And he was like, "What?" And
So
then
mom,
he,
I'm sorry for that one. That
I
I
know,
guess that
yeah,
was.
sorry. So that one, and then I remember that we joked about it for a little bit, but then we were like, "Oh my gosh, like that was true." I thought my mom was just like, but bluffing and blah blah blah. It was so funny, so funny. Just
So
watching him like walk around. He couldn't laugh. He couldn't really sip on a
um,
straw.
all the water coming
Yeah.
up through right here. Yeah, I do want to point out though, even though my mom taught me a lot of really good things, now that I am married, I have also gained a lot of knowledge from my mother-in-law. Big shout out to her because she is amazing. Like, in the short amount of time that I have been a part of her life, she has taught me so much. But one of the things that truly impacted me was one time my husband and I were sharing, some stuff that were happening with her, and then I said, well, you know what? Like, you only live once. And she said, no, you only die once.
Mhm.
And I thought that was so impactful, because it really like changed like we grew up on the song, right? YOLO. That's the motto. But
Mhm.
it really changed the way that I saw things because we really do just have one life. But at the same time, I mean, you really do only have one life. So it's important to live it to the fullest, but not to live it based off what's going to come, right? So that's something that I always, my husband and I, every time we're making a decision, where we will say that, like, you only die once. So big shout out to her for that. I love her so much. She is such a hard worker. She is just, and I always go to her for advice, and so I'm really appreciative of her.
Yeah, something that my mom has said that has been very impactful for me, even though I'm not a mother yet and I can't apply it to my life, I have seen the fruits of that she taught me. She always said, like, if your kid is doing something, because let me tell you guys, I was not a very easy kid, especially teenager. I had my wild days, and I really hope that I don't have to pay for that one day. But one thing that she told me was, if you tell your kid that they are bad, they're going to be bad. If you tell your kid that they're good, they're going to be good. So, cuz I was like telling her, like, "Mom, why would you always be like when I would say, I used to do all these things and you should just be like Mama Bear and like protecting me, or saying like, no, I didn't do this, I didn't do that." I was like, why were you so blinded by like motherly love? And she looked at me and laughed and she goes, I wasn't blinded. Like, I knew the things you were doing. But if I acknowledged it, you would absorb that and you would think that that's who you were. But I, as your mother, needed to guide you and tell you that it was not who you were, and that you were a good girl, and that you were a daughter of God, and that you were like all good things and all positive things. And now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, like that is crazy. And I thought I was getting away with everything. Like, my mom thinks that I didn't do any of these things, or my mom, like I thought I was being sneaky, but really she was playing the long game. No, yeah, that's definitely something that has impacted me like straight up into my adulthood. And when I do have children, I will implement into my motherhood.
Yeah, I just think it's amazing how, as when we're young, we don't realize what our moms are doing, right? We think we're slick, we think that we got the whole world figured out, but in reality, as an adult, you like look back and you're like, "Thank you, mom. Thank you for teaching me this because." Fill in the blank, right? Thank you so much for always being there. Thank you for not letting me do this because my life could have ended up a completely different way. And even though, there have been times where my mom and I have disagreed with each other, which everybody has those moments, right? Even though those moments have occurred, I'm so grateful because, I've been able to overcome so much in my life. And there have been so many times in my life where I have become very anxious. And the first thing I do is like, I need to call my mom. And I call her, and she just listens to me. She hears me out. She doesn't really say much because she knows that that's what I need, right? She knows I need to be heard. She knows that her voice is very soothing to me and that it will calm me down. And so I'm very grateful, 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 grateful for my mom for that because, I also don't have children. Um, I I'm only a dog mom. Not only a dog mom. I am
You
the dog
are a dog mom, and you are the
mom.
best dog mom.
Yes, I love my little boy so much. But, it's something that even with him, I always tell my mom I would do anything for him. I love him so much. I am the dog mom that has a stroller and I take him everywhere with me. He's been to so many more states than I ever had at his age. He's been to Nashville with
He
you.
has been to
Uh,
Nashville.
yeah, so he's great. He makes me very happy and my little boy. And so I just wanted to add to that, right? In this world that we live in, there are so many types of moms, right? There are the hardworking moms. There are the single moms. There is the dog moms. And every single one of those moms is the bomb. Every single one of those moms is amazing. And I just want to take this moment to thank all of the moms out there because we live in this world full of people, different kinds of people. And it is because of all of you that we get to enjoy a lot of things.
Yeah, and I would also like to add that if you don't ever think you're a good mom, like just go ahead and take a step back and look at yourself through your children's eyes, because in your children's eyes, you are everything and you are perfect. And you really are. You are, and that's all that matters is what they think of you, because that is their role model. So you are the best mom. It doesn't matter what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, just love them and they'll appreciate that.
Yeah. And sometimes the kiddos aren't the best, right? I think you and I know that the best. We may make mistakes, just like our moms are going to make mistakes. But in the end, we'll look back and we'll just be thankful for the memories because in the end, that's all they are, right?
Yeah.
And even if we make mistakes, as long as we have each other, that's what counts. And I'm very, very grateful that I have my mom, even though she lives 5 hours away. I am very grateful that I can pick up my phone and give her a call just to check in on her. And I'm grateful that I can drive to go see her and that she'll take the time to drive and come see me as well.
Yeah, just to all the moms, you're doing great. Mom, thank you too. Thank you for everything that you have done for me and that you continue to do for me. I was just having a conversation with her 2 days ago, and she literally was like, "Hey, let's see, those things don't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm here for you and anything that you need." And I was like bawling because I was like, I am this grown adult. I'm not supposed to need my mom anymore, but that's not true, you know? Like, that is not true. I will need my mom forever. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get emotional, so I'm gonna stop.
So thank you, moms. Thank you to my mom. Thank you to my amazing mother-in-law, to my sister who became a mom this year. She is doing amazing. My little Malcolm, I love him so much. And to all the other moms who have influenced me, I don't want to name a whole bunch of names, but I do just want to say, Ale, you were my first friend to have a child, and girl, you are killing it. Fitness mom, she's got a whole master's degree. Like nothing can come in the way of that girl. She is amazing. So
Hmm.
happy Mother's Day to you. I love you all so much.
Happy Mother's Day to all our friends that are moms, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms that have adopted me, especially here in Nashville, right? I have a few moms that are my second moms, Jen, Lisa, all these women that are amazing and I know that are supporting me. But happy Mother's Day to everyone, and hopefully you guys get to enjoy your day with your children.
So if you're with your mom right now, make sure you give her a big hug. If your mom, like ours, is far away, give her a phone call. And if you haven't talked to your mom in a while, or if you guys got in a fight, maybe just
It's
send her
time.
some text. It's time, right? We gotta just share the love. Thank you so much for joining us in this Mother's Day special. We hope that you will share with us some of the great things that your moms have taught you.
So comment the Mother's Day traditions if you guys have any, but also just comment how grateful you are for your mom and the things that you have learned from her. And if you are a mom, comment the things that you have learned from motherhood. All right, we'll see ya. Adios.
Bye, Panthers.